Okay, hello, hello. We are here at this beautiful private winery. I'm here with my beautiful wife, Brooke,
Hi.
and we're going to be talking about what, from a spouse's perspective, for a businessman, an investor, and somebody that's wanting to take care of his family. So we're going to have somebody asking some questions to us, and let's go ahead and just jump right into it.
So, Brooke, can you share about your background in your life before ATN success?
Sure. Yes. Before ATN Success, me and my husband, we got married. We were living in Arizona where I was a career nanny slash governess. We made the transition to move out to LA, which was very exciting, somewhat nerve wracking just to be in a whole new city, a big city. But we did it. And upon arrival, I took a position working 12-hour shifts. What was it? 5 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Five, five,
5 days a week,
yeah.
5 days a week, which I love the kids. I love the family. And it was very exhausting. So that's what I was doing before ATN. Also, I just had a baby. So a lot of kind of life changes leading up to the start of ATN.
And when it came to the start of ATN and that journey, how did you feel when Aaron started it, right? Especially given the ups and downs of entrepreneurship investing.
Yes. So I remember I was on a girls' trip and I came home, found this great opportunity, this whole new field of work that I think this could be a game changer for us. Fast forward from that point until the actual start of ATN, I was definitely a little nervous, a little unsure about where life was going to take us. We had big dreams for wanting to buy a home and just different things, and I wasn't sure if this was going to be compatible with our lives. But knowing him and who he was, I saw the passion, I saw the drive in him, and I was just like, all right, let's try it out, let's see what happens. So that was kind of my initial response.
So, Brooke, can you describe the moment when Aaron started getting success and then you realized that you could actually retire from work and focus on your family full time?
I think just once we realized the monthly income that was coming in, it was kind of a shock, this is more than your actual 9 to 5 corporate position. And then we made the decision to buy a home. And once we went, picked out the lot, picked out the home, paid the earnest deposit, all the things that led up to it, I realized that retirement was in my near future. And I was very excited. And it was also agreed upon, once we left LA and moved to our home in Murrieta, California, that I could. And I was very, very happy.
So, was retirement for you always planned or was it after the success?
We had a plan of once we hit these checkpoints that I could be full time at home. And there was a time where we weren't sure when that was going to happen. We just had this plan. Thankfully, with ATN, we were able to hit those markers way faster than we planned to, in which retirement happened way sooner than what I was anticipating. I think we had 35 was kind of our target age for me.
Yep.
When it actually came at 29.
29. Yeah.
29. So it was several years early.
So, how has your life and daily routine changed since then?
As I said before, I was working 12-hour shifts 5 days a week. Now I am fully home with my kids, my 2 babies, which involves my daughter. She has a huge social life. All of her activities, I'm taking them to just different social gatherings. We're in an awesome co-op preschool, which I get to volunteer at. 3 meals a day, home cooked, just all the things that I really wanted for my family, I get to do now since I'm at home with them.
Let me just jump in here and say this. So, what she did with working 12 hours a day, I couldn't have done that. So, to be honest, being in a position to not only have a beautiful spouse, not only have somebody that supports my vision and all those things, but also someone who has the work ethic. She had more work ethic and drive than I did. She's been working since she's 16 years old. So, for me to see her work ethic made me push even further and harder to make sure that I was able to not only hold up my end of the bargain, but actually exceed that, to be able to let her rest a little bit more. And that 12 hours per day put us in a position that a lot of people may not be in, to where you can actually catch up on all the debt that America puts you in with student debt and having all of these costs of car loans and things like that. So for us, we had a huge goal of paying off all of our consumer debt. We were big into Dave Ramsey. We wanted to be debt free. We wanted to go on there and do the debt free scream. Her 12 hours per day got us out of debt. My 8 hours per day stabilized us and made sure that everything was taken care of. But that really boosted us into being able to save. So of course, I appreciate that.
What has financial freedom brought into your life the value the most?
Just time back with the family, with doing the things we love to do, as opposed to working 9 to 5s or just long weeks, long hours. I get to plan my days and fill them with things that are fulfilling and things that we all love to do. Though definitely time.
How is that with the extra time? How has that affected your relationship with your children?
Well, they've been very clingy lately, and it's because I'm home with them all the time. So it's great. We're best friends. I'm building a very close bond with them. They know Mama's there every day. They know Dada's there. You're just in his office, but he's there as well. we're present. We take him to all of their activities. Aaron joins as well. We pick him up, take him to school, like together all the time. And it's really beautiful to get to do that with my kids.
Outside of your kids, are there any personal hobbies or pursuits you've been taking up upon since you have more time?
Yes, I've actually always wanted to open up my own in-home childcare. That was always a goal of mine. So since I was able to retire from the nanny governess life, I actually got my license and I'm fully licensed to do that. And that is kind of to come, but I have that ability, something I really was passionate about. And also lately I've been doing a lot more reading because I love to read and have found more time to do that. And just building more connections with with friends. Coming out this way, I wanted to focus more in on building closer, stronger friendships. But now I have like a really big friend group and we do lots of different things together. That's been really
So can you explain your quality of life before ATN success and your quality of life now?
Yes. Well, before ATN success, we were more tired, didn't see each other as often. I was commuting, he was commuting in LA, which if anybody knows about LA, it's hectic, it's crowded. I think that's the biggest thing. We were just tired. Now, after ATN, we have financial freedom. We're doing more of the things that we always talked about doing, trip, vacations, activities for the kids, and we feel more rested. We feel like we're able to be more attentive to each other's needs and the kids' needs because, again, we're not hiding. We're not in the rat race, the everyday grind anymore.
And then throughout Aaron's journey with ATN, how did you support him, especially during challenging?
Lots of prayer. I had an open ear. He was able to talk to me about anything. I tried to give his best advice I could. This is a new realm for me as well. So just trying to help advise him in different areas and how to run the business, how to deal with people, etc. And just allowing him space and time to get things moving.
So she's one of 4 kids in a big family. Like all of her family lives an hour north of here, which is why we moved from Arizona to Southern California in the first place. And one of the things one of her calling cards with the family is she's the most rational one. That being said, so I get to benefit a lot from her wisdom and her advice and ability to be able to understand what's actually happening and how she can give the best guidance or support that she possibly can. I don't have to constantly be talking with my teammates about all the things. I can speak more maybe candidly or whatever with her, and she can kind of give the advice from a personal spousal perspective, which is always amazing.
And then how did Brooke's support impact your decision and commitment to ATN's vision and growth?
It allowed for me, like I was mentioning, in terms of her own personal growth, my decisions based off of the books that I'm reading or the mentorships that I'm getting or masterminds that I'm a part of, those things can be outside of the norm for everyday people, right? People that are stuck in the rat race. It's their non-conventional ideas, non-conventional strategies to make things happen. But 90% of those ideas or strategies or whatever, she understood the logic of those things, understood the rationale. So that allowed for me to be able to not only explain it easier, for her to understand it more, and then be able to implement or adjust my own strategy to take advantage of those opportunities. So it's been amazing.
Now, with the success of ATN, can you guys both share a memorable moment where you started seeing the actual benefit?
There's a few, but one that I really was excited about. We were on a trip on the coast. We just happened to go to a couple really nice stores. And
the coast of France, by the way.
No.
The Californian coast. Okay,
sorry. And I happened to leave with some really nice purchases, some luxury items. Exciting for me.
Just so you guys know, I used to be pegged as cheap, but I like to say I'm a frugal individual. However, I had a focus and I had a vision of making sure that we got out of the rat race and we were able to get out of consumer debt. Again, listening to Dave Ramsey so much, I was, I guess, a disciple, where it was just I want to be out of the rat race. I want to be debt free. So I was so focused. I knew he was talking about the rice and bean diet, but I was we can't do rice and beans, but maybe we could just do some chicken and rice or something, at least some some meat and some rice. But so that was kind of my thing. And we didn't go out to eat as much, or we didn't go shopping as much. But I told her, I made sure that she understood, because she was a little hesitant. She was we could do that and go on these vacations, or we could do that and eat out when we want to.
She was being very, very frugal.
And I was no, let's focus. Let's lock in. I'm all about locking in, right? But with that, I was just no, if we just dedicate ourselves, then in about a year or whenever we're actually out of consumer debt, then I'll be so much more comfortable to do all the extra things. Here we are, couple 2-3 years later, and we're doing all the extra things, like renting out a private winery.
How have both of you guys grown since? What would you have to say to the other partner to say how much they've grown?
Oh, I would say just grace overall for just the process towards me, towards the kids, just understanding that because he's got so much going on, he's building this business. When he's with us, he's gracious, he's gentle, he's kind, and he just takes a lot of pride in like being with us once he has that moment to be with us. That's a really great area of growth for him.
I say the area of growth for you, like I was mentioning, is your wisdom. Basically, like all the things that I'm learning, like you're the sounding board for 100% of all the stuff that I'm learning. So you, by proxy of your husband, who is pushing himself to learn as much as possible and develop as much as possible, well, that's one of the things that I get to share with you. You digest, and then your wisdom grows. Your ability to understand what all is happening actually grows. You become an even stronger partner. So that's very helpful.
And as a couple who has personally experienced the benefits of ATN, what message or advice would both like to give to potential customers considering joining the network?
I would say, well, first I would say go for it. It is really life-changing. First of all, having my husband home and present, I wouldn't trade it in for anything else in the world.
So from a spouse's perspective, right, your husband is going into different opportunities, right? What would you say to a wife or a spouse that's in a similar position where their husband is looking into these platforms, wanting to change their life through passive income, right? And to present the opportunity to their spouse? What words would you give them?
I would just say, like, consider the source. Like, who are you speaking to on this? And like Aaron and the rest of his partners, they're all very honorable individuals. The whole point of this is to make sure people are getting into something that will benefit them. So I would say definitely consider that. And if all of those boxes are checked, I would highly recommend that you go for it, encourage them through it. Obviously, stay present in the discussions of it so that you are well aware and informed of what's happening. But it can change your life. I recommend.
What I always do is just make sure, like, what I do to benefit me in these conversations is to make sure that she's a part of it, right, in the first place, to make sure that they're actually on the call. So then I'm not just relaying information and I'm the secondhand source of like what's actually important and the things that are needed to know. Some things may resonate with her on those calls rather than they do with me. So it's just important to, if you can, have your another decision maker that's needed to be on the actual call itself, to both be informed. And if there needs to be a follow-up, both of you guys are on there and all of you guys get your questions answered. So that's probably my biggest thing, is to make sure you guys are as together as possible on the decision.
And with you as a couple that achieve financial freedom, what is the shared goals that you guys have moving forward?
You're looking at it, this $3+ million house on a winery and all that. So I was like, look, I want to open this up to the public. Like, why can't we have people come through, have wine, enjoy themselves? But you're like, no, let's keep it private for the family, for special occasions. I'm like, we can make some money too, but so this is what you're looking at, right? This
is the ultimate dream for us, to build a home in wine country, have a vineyard. He wants an actual winery. Who knows? But this is the dream. That's one of our dreams. And also just to travel. We want to spend a couple months here and there in different countries, exploring with our kids, lots of activities for our kids. I would say those are the goals here in the next couple of years.
But all of those things are very relative, right? Because we've already built my dream home. We've already built, like, it's relative, right? Again, what we've already done is we've already built a home that we designed, and we've put the finishing touches on and all of those things. So that's already happened. We're going to Africa in a couple of weeks, and we'll spend a month there. We're going to be in Colombia again in a couple of months, and we'll spend a few weeks there. So we're already doing those things. It's just more of all the stuff that we want, and at a higher level.
And add on the winery.
More, for sure. That.
And another goal of ours is we want to be able to, like, to different foundations, to different situations. Like, that's a big part of our heart with financial freedom, with wealth, giving back. We've talked about different foundations, different ways we can do that. So that's really high on our priority.
Okay, how did I forget that? Because
you're talking about all the other things.
Yeah, because you're talking about immediately personal stuff. Okay, fair enough, right? I wanna build water sources in Africa. So my dad is from Ghana. Water sources there, educational institutions there, and then also the part of it is like we want to travel the world. We want to see all these things. We could travel California. We could travel the United States and all those things. Or I want to impact Africa with so many benefits, or impact Medellin with so many benefits of, like, we'll provide for this food bank, or we'll provide for this orphanage. But there are people in Marietta, Temecula that need this type of impact as well. So that's one of the things for us we've really paid attention to as well. So those are extremely important for us.
To end this off, what is one thing you love the most about the significant partner?
Her eyes. What do you mean? Her smile, her support, her big brain. I could think of some more, but give me a second. You go. It's time for you to do.
Well, I've always said from the beginning, he's made me laugh like no other. So that was like one of the main things that attracted me to him. Also, he's tall, dark, and handsome, as you can see. And his intelligence, like, he's always, from the very beginning, been so smart, and I knew that was going to lead him to, like, major success. That's proven the way he fathers our children. That is really inspirational. So those are my top.
Do you have any final words to a couple that's in the position where they're interested in ATN or they're just wanting to get to know you guys more? Any final words?
Book a call. Talk to these people. They're awesome. If you talk to them, you get to know them. I think you'll understand like that this is a great opportunity. So if you're hesitant, if you're considering, get one of them on the line. They'll answer questions. They're very personable. They take the time to get to know you, to answer questions. So that would be.
That's pretty much it. But book a call. There's a link in the description. That's pretty much it. You guys understand. But anyways, we appreciate you guys watching. This is one of the things that's been in the works for a long time. I've had to convince her time and time again to get on camera and kind of tell her story. But now we finally did. I had to rent a winery to do it, but we were able to make it happen. So enjoy it because it probably won't happen again.